Yo, what's good, everybody? Hello, Joey J. Ping, checking in live, respectmyregion.com, back on another episode of the RMR Podcast, brought to you guys by the RMR Podcast Network and Extract Consultants, our premier terpene sponsor for this episode. These guys are our partners for all things flavors, aromas, custom formulations. You guys name it, they can create it, and we appreciate them for their support of the channel. Their blessing in working with us has given us the opportunity to feature our wonderful guests today. We've got Jordan and Oliver. Jordan in the middle, Oliver over there on the far opposite side of me, from Swift's Edibles. Fellas, welcome to the show. How we doing today?
Wonderful. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys joining, man. It's. I was telling Oliver on the phone call that one of our editors, writers, one of our longest running teammates, Taylor's a bud tender over at Ballard Dockside, and every time I've gone back over the last 3 or 4 years to visit, I'm always leaving there with some Swift edibles, some craft elixirs, gummies. I'm a chocolate guy at night. That's what I like to eat before bed. I just love the sugars. Obviously, the gummies fuck up my teeth even more than the cavities I've already gotten. So it's like this balance of like I'm always going in there buying some Swifts, going and buying some of those little fruit pieces things, and then I'm always buying a ton of flour they recommend. And Swifts, even going back to when I was a bud tender in 2016 and 17, you guys have been around the block. You guys have been there quite a long time, and so fellas, it's an honor to have you guys, and I mean that wholeheartedly. You guys have fucking really helped build the cannabis industry there in Washington State, in the PN Dub. And so, fellas, I appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about Swifts. Obviously, the cheesy question first. Where did we come up with the name? How did that come about?
Yeah, I'd like to tell you that there's some magical story and super deep meaning behind it.
That's okay.
But sometimes it's just that you put a list together and, we all just kind of lean in and agree on something. And that was where we started.
What was the first product that you guys created, Oliver? Going back to the early days, what was those? Obviously Swifts was the name, but what was that first thing that you created that you had to stamp that branding and that logo on?
Yeah, so before Swifts, we were just operating under our business name Green Labs in Washington. So we had developed a chocolate truffle, and that chocolate truffle hit. And all of our retail partners at that time, it was very, very limited. At the beginning, they were like, this is the one, you guys need to brand this product and put a brand on that. And so that set us out into figuring out a brand and a package to put behind our signature chocolate truffle.
I feel like the brand has gone through a couple revamps in terms of appearance over the course of the years. Is that a true statement? I haven't lived there for quite a while, so I only get to see it every now and then. But I vividly remember just that yellow, a signature yellow. Has that always been the case with Swifts?
We stay pretty consistent with the Swifts yellow. We've taken a new strategy as of late, branching into branded products, and so. Some of our latest products, like the Crunchy Munchies, are like Crunchy Munchie is a product. It's also a brand by Swifts. And so
that makes sense.
Overarching. The Swifts brand started to get a little bit too many items and hard to explain. So we started to get more detailed into the product. What are we actually selling? So
that makes sense. I mean, it's a balance, right? Like, and especially in a market like Washington, where marketing isn't as creatively allowed as other industries or even other states when it comes to cannabis. What do you guys call it there? The Liquor and Cannabis Board, right? The LCB, right? Isn't that's the people that manage the thing? Yeah, it's they're a tough bunch, right? They really care about compliance and they really care about no backdooring of product and enforcement and things and following the rules for better or for worse. They really care about that stuff. Supposedly and allegedly. And I know that has contributed to, some people will call it stifling of the creativity in terms of branding, activations, events, and things like that. Jordan, this question for you, you mentioned earlier, on the sales side of things, it's like, how have you guys been able to be such a consistent brand and get this foothold? It's this balance of sales to the store and sell through off of the shelf, right? What does Swifts do? What have you guys been doing to manage that? Because you guys have been around, I believe it's a decade now, pretty much.
Yeah, we're just a little north of a decade at this point. Washington all markets are unique, right? And you'll see in some of the bigger states that you'll have a lot of the, multi-state players. In Washington, we've had some of those guys come in. They've done fairly well, but I think by and large we're much more a grassroots market. And so, being in the game from the beginning, we were licensed very early, within the top 30. And so, being around, staying consistent, building relationships, and really just being people of our word, right, with the product. Very much grassroots movement.
Oliver, similar question, but just your perspective on that there. What do you feel that has really helped you guys not just gain that foothold, but maintain it? Is it simple as being consistent, being quality of communication and follow through, or do you feel that there was some extra Swift spice mixed into the recipe, for example?
Teamwork. We have our core team, me, Jordan, our CEO and our management at the production facility, really tight, diverse group of people, backgrounds coming together with passion for cannabis and cannabis edibles in particular. I think that's kind of the one thing we always hung our hat on. We've also been in a position most other people aren't. We started, essentially having to make money and feed our families. We didn't start with millions of dollars to build everything out. Like we wanted something, we had to go get it and build it organically through sales. And so no shortcuts were taken. Everything's been built brick by brick. And I think that gives us a perspective that has become incredibly valuable now that we're in a more established market.
I'm looking at the different categories of products that you guys have here underneath the umbrella of edibles, right? I'm seeing truffles, sour candies, aka sour drops, right? Mints and tabs. Oh, I see a passion fruit one here. That's exciting. Gummies, and then I see chews, peanut butter cups. Then there's a variety of chocolate covered things, which is exciting. And then you guys have that OG honey I was mentioning at the beginning. And then I'm seeing crunchy munchies. Those are the new candy bars and stellar bites. Fellas, this is a lot of products. This is a lot of flavors. You guys are the candy kings over here, man. I love it. Walk me through just first and foremost. I'm hungry. I got this drink over here. I'm about to eat some food. What should I get right now if I had $20 and I was going to be in Washington? Jordan, what's your favorite? What's your go-to number one? And Oliver, what's your go-to number two? We could have you guys answer that quick first, man. I want to know, out of all these, what am I getting right here?
Yeah. You being a guy who prefers chocolate, right? A peanut butter cup has become a staple for us, right?
Oh, yes. And now they're rosin infused. I see that you guys have converted them to rosin. How exciting is that? Was it distillate for years and then something else? Or what's the life journey been like for you guys in terms of oil pre-rosin to now rosin is a big deal?
Right. I think similar to a lot of people in the market, right? We've followed trends. We've had to evolve. We've had to refine. Everything starts as a taste focus. That is obviously the easiest ingredient in that regard. But customers want full spectrum, right? So we listen, to our fans, of people that buy our products. We listen to our bud tenders, to our purchasing partners, and we're definitely, moving towards full spectrum, product segment by product segment.
I love that. Now, okay, so Oliver, what's your recommendation, man? Because he hit me with the peanut butter cups. Jordan, I feel like he knows me for forever just off that recommendation. What's your secret plug right here?
The crunchy munchies. It's a Butterfinger. Better than a Butterfinger is what we get told on a consistent basis.
Wow.
We take a lot of pride in that product, particularly. If you know, it's probably the one.
Washington is a health conscious city, or state rather, Seattle health conscious city, the region as a whole, sustainable, all those kinds of things. How important is that mindset, sustainability or health conscious? Does that play a role into these candies and the confections and the things that we're making here? Or are we just talking about making the best damn tasting candy possible? Which I don't know if there's a sugar or a balance or how that all works, because I'm not the candy kings. But if you could enlighten me in there and just provide some kind of perspective, I would find that very interesting.
Yeah, appreciate the Candy Kings, man. That's a good one. We might have some runway with that. I think fundamentally you have to be conscious of the data, right? And so we've made more niche products over time, and you do have to have the addressable market size to actually make it work. And so we really push these sour drops hard. It's a sugar-free product.
Oh, cool.
We allow retailers to make sure that they're offering those, as well as the Essence tabs, to customers who need sugar-free products. Taste is always at the forefront, right? We want to make the best possible product. Never are we looking at our cost of goods and seeing where we can cut corners on ingredients. That's never been a conversation we've had. So
I'm going to go ahead and pull up your guys' website. I've been looking at it here while we're talking, so that way I can have some guidance to my questions and things like that. Oliver, if you could walk the people through these 4 products that we're looking at here, I think that would be great. And then, Jordan, we'll have you do the second row. We're looking at truffles, sour drops, mints, and tabs. Guys, what makes each of these items so special? Oliver, starting with you here. What's up with these truffles? What am I looking at? I see some different flavors and colors. What's going on with these different chocolate goodies here?
For sure, those are our truffles. That's what started it all for us. It's a hard chocolate shell with a soft ganache in the middle. So very, very high end through that process. And, we've taken various inspiration and branched into particular flavors to provide even more options for those. So we have milk chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, caramel, tiramisu. The tiger butter is our peanut butter truffle is one of our top sellers, as well as our raspberry cheesecake. And so we just look to innovate in terms of flavor and products, looking at what isn't in the market, what could be there, using various confectionery techniques and coming with them. And then the products evolve over time. We started with a few flavors. We add another one and another one. And that's how all these product lines have evolved. That's why we have so many, because we love what we do. We keep trying new things. With the truffles, they used to be round. We looked for a way to make the product more unique.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So these are more like almost like a custom shape. It's like a gem, but like I see like the little shaved side there to make it a different shape, if you would.
Exactly. It's like a cube, but we took the edge off. So that's our little, thing there. We
cool.
Swiss truffle, take your edge off,
Oh, that's smart. I like that. You guys are really
verted play, but yeah, we're just having fun,
Yeah,
through every level, focusing on the details, and then moving on to the other products. I think the sour drop hard candies, the mints and tabs are our solution to the problem that you had brought up earlier about the health consciousness and the calories and all those things. There is a strong group of people that are looking for those and that value those type of products. And just due to the nature of the market, particularly in Washington, there isn't the economics of some of these products aren't very great for people to focus on them. But we've gotten great feedback from our customers that they love these products. We have people that depend on these products, and so we continue to push them.
Isn't that interesting that there is such a strong sugar addiction? Because we don't need it. It's not like it's needed in our life, right? Things have natural stuff, right? You guys are making this product, but isn't it crazy that that's the demand that we as humans / Americans have, with from a preference standpoint, that the sugar-free ones don't perform as well. They're not as in demand as the other ones because we've been trained the other way. But I applaud you guys for having that option. And I particularly, going back to my days back at the Diego Pellicer in Seattle, look at that fancy ass store back in the original days.
Right.
We had so many people coming in that were diabetic, that smoked weed, and that wanted these products. And it's just frustrating because 9 times out of 10, they're always recommended inhalable smoking things for their situations instead of ingestibles, when oftentimes fighting situations or trying to attack these symptoms or deal with chronic issues or whatever it is, oftentimes it's better to do it from an inside out versus from an outside in. Like smoking would be outside in and eating something would be inside out, is how I always say. These mints and tabs though, Oliver, I'm a little confused because I heard something along the line of Essence tabs. Are these mints Are these just chewable tablets? What's going on with these bad boys here?
So the diversity of our products definitely creates some branding challenges, and like our website, it's there's so many things there where you just end up cramming things in. So the tablets, our Essence tablets, are something completely different, and so
Okay.
the mints are similar to like an icebreaker style mint.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
it's a sugar-free mint.
Oh,
The
dope.
sour drop hard candies are like a hard candy, also sugar-free.
Hmm.
Similar form factor, just different type of product. Our Essence tablets are an RSO based tablet. So as we created these uh, the mints, we saw the opportunity there to create a different type of product. And I'll tell the story behind the Essence tablets. My uncle had lung cancer, and he never used cannabis his whole life. And he was like, well, now I'm curious about, could this help me? And at that time, this was, back in 2016 or something like that. So the market was really, really young. And at that time, I didn't have a better option for him than to, I didn't want to give him our truffles at the time because it's a bunch of sugar. I know that's not good for him.
Yeah, sugar. I think they say sugar makes cancers and the other things worse. Like they feed off of it or something like that.
Definitely. And so I was like, well, like, let me go to the store, get you an RSO syringe, and then you can, show you how to dose yourself a grain of rice. And he was like, that really worked for me, but I always get too much or too little. It's really hard. And so I'm like, okay, we had developed some technology to get the mints to be accurate in the dosage there. So we can take 5 milligrams, put it in an easily chewable mint. And I was like, well, we'll take this same technology, take the RSO, combine it with the purest ingredient we could, plant cellulose. And so there's only 2 ingredients, RSO, plant cellulose, put them together, and centricate cannabis pill. That's full spectrum, and made that for him. You can just take a pill with a glass of water. It's real familiar.
And accurate dosing, which was the issue, right?
Exactly. And especially back then, most people were so unfamiliar. They didn't know. It's like, do I need 1 milligram, 10 milligrams, 100 milligrams? And, everything's a little bit different. And so putting it in these pills that essentially have no calories, no other artificial ingredients or anything like that, you could really figure out how many you need. You could do that 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams a piece. Do I need 3? Do I need 5? And really tailor your dosage, as well as, get that consistency, have the same experience every single time.
Now, I know Washington's maximum dosage for single serving edibles is 10 milligrams, but that doesn't mean we always have to use 10, correct? There can be 2.5s and 5s and 1s and 2s or whatever it is. What are the majority, if not all, of your guys' products? Are those truffles all 10s or are they 5s?
So the dominant is a 10 milligram product. By far the customers want the maximum dosage.
That makes sense.
And the value is really important to customers right now. So 100 milligram THC is the limit per unit. So we generally stick pretty close to that. With the sour drops and the mints, they're 5 milligram dosage. So
so that way there's 20 in the tin instead of 10, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And now, as we've expanded the catalog, we've looked for ways to have lower dosage products, and so we have some lower dosage gummies, and
that's what I was going to get into next, Oliver, is the gummies. Thank you for mentioning that. I see that there's a variety of flavors there in that photo. What are some of the flavors that you guys have, and are there different ratios and cannabinoids being used as well?
For sure. So with the gummies, it's really, for us, it's been all about our max dosage. And so it's been a trend in the other way, away from microdosing. And so we've been using alternative cannabinoids, CBG, CBN, CBD, creating a cocktail. And so a long time we tried different combinations, and we found one that we started receiving amazing feedback on. So it's THC, CBD, CBG, and CBN. And we've rolled that out across many different SKUs now. So it's almost a 50 milligram piece, but it's not all THC, so it has a varied effect on people.
I'm seeing some pretty cool flavors on here too, Oliver. I'm seeing lemon, watermelon, was that black raspberry, cherry, peach, and then I think I see a lemon and orange, and then is that a strawberry pineapple?
For sure, we're all about the flavors. Right now, what's really hitting for us is our huckleberry. This is our latest and greatest.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So we've redone our packaging. We've switched the infusion to live resin.
Yeah, that's that night right there.
Nano boosted, so it's fast acting. This one right here is the CBN option. So 10 milligrams CBN, 10 milligrams THC, 300 milligrams CBD. It's a whole cocktail there. And then we're always trying new things. And so this will be our latest and greatest new flavor here. We've essentially created a peach tahini.
I love that. Peach, lime, and tahini. Let's go, man. Look at this. You guys call it the Swift's Max.
Yeah, the max is the 500 milligram dosage that we got there. And so we're just rolling that out across everything. But we're always trying new things, new flavors, new ratios, new products.
Impressive, Oliver. Impressive. Now, we gave you the time there to go through these 4 categories, and I appreciate you even having some of the items for a show and tell, man. That was phenomenal. Now, I want to make sure that we give Jordan the opportunity to talk through some of these products here as well. I'm going to move this one over here so we can see all the items and it's not blocked. Jordan, walk me through what we're looking at here real quick, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, the first item we have there is our honey. Classic cannabis staple. Graduated from the initial honey sticks that everybody's so familiar with from the medical days. You run into production issues with them. You don't want retail stores calling you, telling you that your product's leaking. So what we graduated to was into a packet. So very similar to what you would receive in a McDonald's when you get ketchup from them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, much more consistent, much more greater usability, right? And so you see a lot of flavors there, but we've refined it down. We throw options out, we review the data, we refine. But
I'm seeing strawberry, lemon, honey, and cinnamon. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a lot, but we try to keep things fresh. Retailers always want to know what's new, but cannabis and honey, and it's got a lot more uses. People always think tea naturally, but you can put it on fruit, put it on ice cream. You can use honey on anything, put it on a sandwich.
Shoot, peanut butter and jelly. Let's go.
There you go. Come on. The chocolate covered cookies. That was something that we did for the market, right? Cookies have a short shelf life. There were a lot of retailers. You shouldn't be walking into a cannabis retail store and not be able to buy cannabis infused cookies. Plain and simple. I think we can all agree on that. So, this was kind of our way to address some of the issues with the shelf life and be able to provide the product to the retailers that they needed. It's a chocolate covered Oreo. It does fairly well for us.
Ooh, chocolate covered Oreo, Oliver. Come on, man. I know you guys are pumped. I know you guys love that R&D, baby. Come on. And I'm kind of upset, man. Retroactively, I didn't get the phone call. I'm kind of upset.
You need some, huh?
Let's go. Okay, third, but not third place. This is the rosin infused dark chocolate peanut butter cups, fellas. This one is one of my all-time favorites, but I've never had the rosin ones. My favorite ones are pre-rosin. This is crazy. Walk me through it.
Yeah, it only gets better, right? America's #1 candy, peanut butter cup. What more do you need to say?
Did you guys see that Reese's and Oreo now have that collab going on right now?
I did see that.
Come on. Who would you guys' ultimate collab be? If Swifts could collaborate with anyone ever, brand, food, restaurant, what would it be? And if you guys did, I wouldn't be upset at the peanut butter cup Swifts McFlurry. I'm just throwing it out there. So
let's take a note on that. That's a deep question, man. I gotta say that's something we honestly haven't given a whole lot of thought to. We could probably be more creative, but I'd like to think that Hershey can get some of our products on their desk.
Ooh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Oliver, what about you, man? Who would be the ultimate? Who would be like a goated collab for you, man? Whether it be a celebrity, whether it's a brand, like what are we talking here?
Oh, it's really hard. So many different angles and ways to go there. But I think, collaborating with some of the higher end chocolate houses,
oh my gosh. If you guys did the lint ones, oh dude, that would be nuts. Okay. This is too crazy. You guys are getting me excited. Okay, Jordan, last product over here, Choose. Now this one looks pretty interesting because from the box that I'm looking at, it looks like there's like an outside layer and an inside layer.
Correct. Yeah. There's dual flavor to them. Dual flavor, dual color. It's a high chew, right? So you think Starburst, to be particular, we definitely replicated the high chew. So a lot going on there. You see the swirl. it's tough to be unique, right? It's kind of like an everything's been done at certain points. So we always get into like, okay, well, what more can we do? And our team playing with different options that they present. So really proud of this product. It gets overlooked a little bit because it gets rolled into like, oh well, is it a gummy, a chew? Because we couldn't call things gummies for a long time. So a lot of processors use the term chew to describe their gummies, but this is a real fruit chew here.
Yo, those look so fire, fellas. I haven't actually seen those before, but sitting here right now, just looking at that, the packaging and the color that you got, the colors that you chose there, and like the crossing of the colors and like this flavor with that, like this is mouth-watering. And I'm just looking at a photo. This is crazy. I can't wait to get back, man. This is phenomenal. All right, we're gonna get off of the website here for a second and just get back to the three of us, fellas. This has been a great conversation. I feel like I've learned a lot. What is really important for you guys, for the bud tenders to know about you guys? Because you guys are in tons of stores across the state. I've seen you at basically all the big dogs. If you could speak directly to those bud tenders and as the partners in the brand and the people that handle the sales and putting together all this crazy amazing flavors together, what do you want the bud tenders and the retail staff to ultimately know and be able to communicate to the customers on behalf of you guys? Oliver, this one will be for you.
Oh, so I think the most important thing is where we come from. We have deep roots in the community in Seattle and Washington, and the cannabis industry, all throughout the West Coast, and we're lifelong, passionate people. We're not some faceless corporate entity coming in to take their money. We're people that do this because we love what we do, and we're passionate about the cannabis industry, and really want to see it grow, and not just grow, but grow in the right way, and have innovative products, not just another gummy. If we left it up to the banks and the money people, it would just be nothing but gummies and all the same flavors. They would just chasing each other's tail, and the innovation would be dead. You can count on innovation from us and new flavors, new products, cutting edge confectionery technology, bringing all these things to the market. Not necessarily to make a buck, but because it's what we love to do.
I can sense the energy from both of you guys, that there's like this level of seriousness that I appreciate, because cannabis for a lot of people, although it is fun or this or that, I want, as a patient who has a medical card, who's sick, and for people like your family member, right? We need it. We need the consistency. I need you guys to be good at what you do. I need a level of seriousness to be there every freaking day. So that way, someone who's sick like me, kidney stones, IBS, Crohn's, dietary problems, can have access to this stuff, let alone people with more serious conditions. And so I appreciate how much passion you guys have for this. I appreciate how dialed in everything is. And I also, too, one of the things that's really stood out to me is that with all of that focus on growth and business and reapproaching and reevaluating, one thing stands consistent across your guys' brand: the innovation that you mentioned, the passion for doing what you guys love. And I think that stands out quite a bit through your guys' brand. And I hope that more people get to meet you guys in the real world there across Washington, because I don't get to spend time there. And so I don't know when I'm going to get to see you guys next, but I know that I've been a fan from afar for a long time. I know there's tons of fans there in Washington as well. But let's focus for a second on your guys' national expansion. I know that's something that we've talked about briefly. Oliver, we were talking a little bit about East Coast. There was a California edition of Swiss for a little while. Where are we at in terms of the future of Swifts nationally? What can the people look forward to in that aspect of your guys' company and your journey?
So I think we're going to continue pushing. California is an incredibly difficult market, and the industry as a whole is constantly changing. We're going to continue to look for steady growth and new opportunities to collaborate with other people. But we don't know what the future will hold, and the regulations are changing. And as we see new markets open up, they start with one set of rules, and then by the time everything gets rolled out, it's a whole nother set of rules. We've experienced that in Washington, we know. So we're kind of just sitting back, picking and choosing the opportunities we go after.
I love that.
But you'll definitely see us. We're going to stay in it. Our business in Washington is doing very well and has got to a sustainable level where we can put some focus on out of state.
Exciting
markets everywhere.
Very, very exciting. I know how excited I was when I first started seeing your guys' products down in Cali, and then I ran around trying to champion it and tell everybody, "Hey, there's one of my Washington brands is here. Like, yo, you got to give them a shot. You got to do this. You got to do that." And I had no idea who you guys were at that point, and so it's not like I know who to send them to for these orders or how to plug them. Right? It's just Instagram, da 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 da. Right? And that's in one ear, out the other for these buyers, unfortunately. But fellas, is there anything immediately on the horizon? I know you guys have these candy bars and things like that. Would you like to at least? Should we focus on that real quick before we get you out of here? Can you talk a little bit about those new items? What you want people to know? Anything new in that realm? Maybe this one will be for you, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of that thing where within the cannabis industry, edibles in particular, you see gummies are 80% of the market. How do you continue to innovate, keep the conversation fresh? We are chocolatiers. That's our passion. That's who we are. We have an amazing team, and so sometimes you just really have to branch out and take chances. There should be weed candy bars, plain and simple. You should have access to them. Nobody had made that move yet. We totally understand why. It's very difficult, very costly, but to be where we are now,
There it is.
Yeah. So you have your Snickers, you have your Milky Way, you have your you got the Crunchy Munchies, which are your Butterfinger. It's just one of those things that I think further cements what the market already knows about us, right? That we're going to continue to push the envelope, that we're going to come with the best product that we possibly can, and that we're doing it for the people.
Come on, man! Swift's Edibles for the people, chocolatiers, innovation at its highest. I hope you guys get more cooks in the kitchen, because that just seems like more creativity, man. That's the fun part about it. Sometimes that creates stress and anxiety, but you guys are the people we want in the kitchen, cooking up the edibles, infusing rosin and distillate and some live resin, these full spectrum kind of oils into it. And for that, guys, I appreciate you, man. It's been a pleasure to chat with you guys here today. Big shout out to our sponsor on this episode, Extract Consultants, our premier terpene and flavor partners. To everybody watching, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Oliver, what's your guys' Instagram and website for the people to reach out, follow, get a hold of you guys?
You can find us swiftedibles.com, SWIFTS edibles.com, and then swifts.confectionery on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Keep shutting us down, but we're going to keep coming
man.
back.
Swift's Edibles stay on the map, and they do what they can to keep the innovation at its highest. Jordan, I appreciate you for your time. Oliver, same to you as well, my friend. Very much appreciate you guys joining today. Everybody watching the Respect My Region podcast, be sure to support. We got more episodes coming, and I'll see y'all the next time we pop back on the live.